Str Cooler, the man that single-handedly saved the boy that is Janemba. If it was not for Cooler, Janemba would be irrelevant. First, it is time for the subscriber challenge. This ball that you can see here is going to get mixed between the hands, and then you have to pick where the ball is. If you get right, then you win, but if you get wrong, then you lose. And if you lose, you have to subscribe because that is the challenge. So pick right now, this hand or this hand. 3, 2, 1, go. Where's it going to be? It's in the left hand. So if you pick the right hand, then you lose, and if you lose, you have to subscribe because that is the challenge. If it was not for Cooler, this Janemba would not have been that good. The Janemba itself is a very good unit. The only issue was that he had 0 good teams. I repeat, he had 0 good teams. But then with this Cooler, he now has one of the best teams in the game. And he actually makes up one of the best rotations in the game. And to be fair to Janemba, as much as this Cooler saved Janemba, this Janemba is also a big help to this Cooler. So in reality, they are really helping each other. And the reason I say that is because this guy, with Janemba in slot 1 and this guy in slot 2, bro, that rotation is disgusting. And this guy's defense is very, very good in slot 1 where he's guarding. And then this guy in slot 2 with all that damage and decent defense. Bro, that is a powerful rotation. Now someone might say, wait a minute, that's a good rotation, but I know a better rotation. And then what they will do is pull up this Cooler and say this Cooler with this Cooler is a better rotation based on the reasoning that the STR Easy A Cooler supports the LR, and I would say absolutely not. Don't get me wrong, both of these individually are great top tier units. In fact, I would say this guy is the 3rd best Easy A in the game, around 3rd, because the best Easy A's in the game right now are Gohan at number 1 for sure, Gogeta I would say number 2, Cell number 3 or Cooler number 3. Cell is hard to rate, so I won't include Cell, but Gohan 1, Gogeta 2 and Cooler 3, and I'm not rating Cell in there. But the point is, this Cooler is one of the best Easy A's in the game. But even with that said, I would still say that these two as a rotation is not a good rotation. And I'm guessing you guys will know why, but the reason is because both of these are slot 2 units. Neither of them can tank in slot 1. But that's where Janemba comes in. He can tank in slot 1 because he has guard. My boys! Janemba was saved by Cooler with the guard, put him in slot 1, Cooler in slot 2, one of the best rotations in the game. And then on the second rotation, what you can do is bring the Freezer. He is also a slot 1 unit. You put him in slot 1, you put Cooler slot 2, and that is a sick, epic rotation. And then with the Cooler, you can bring him as a floater. Let him stack defense as much as you can, but as a floater, he's still supporting. So even as a supporter, he will do just fine. And then you bring this Cooler. Bro, this team, I wish I had these units. To be fair, I've got Janemba, I've got him at 55%, but I do not have Cooler, I do not have Freezer. I've got this guy, to be fair, the STR Easy A Cooler, I think with 1 or 2 dupes, and I also do not have this guy. But this team, bro, it's so good, it looks like it would be so much fun, and not to mention there's still one more unit that would do excellently in slot 1, if that's even how you say that word. But the point is, we have this extremely old unit, very powerful Easy A to this day. He won't do any damage, but he will tank very well if you meet the HP requirement. The only issue with this guy though is that if you fall below that requirement, he will get 1 shot off a normal. But if you meet that requirement, he will tank anything in the entire game. But the point of the video was that this legend of a unit saved Cooler. You guys might be thinking, I'm praising Cooler, but normally I'm pretty harsh on Cooler, and I would say no, I'm not. The reason people might say I'm harsh on Cooler is because I do not think he is a top 4 unit. I think he is number 5. And I would go as far as to say, by the end of the anniversary on JP, I would be surprised if this guy is still top 10. I think it's possible he'll still be top 10, but I would be surprised if he's top 10. And furthermore, I will also add that I think this AGL Freezer will age better than this Cooler over here, simply because the Freezer is a defensive unit, and the Cooler is more of an offensive unit, and defensive units usually age better than offensive units, which is why I think the Freezer will age better. Right now, if I was to make a top 10, Cooler would be number 5, and Freezer would be somewhere there in the top 10. But the point is, over time though, Freezer will age better. So over time, like a year from now, 2 years from now, Freezer will be higher on my list than this Cooler. But again, Janemba, he got exactly what he needed with this Cooler. To be fair, this Janemba, he waited a while for it. He waited a while, but then he got it. Just in the nick of time. Just in the nick of time. If Janemba had to wait any longer, he would have become irrelevant. But because this cooler made it on time, Janemba was saved. But not only was Janemba saved, Janemba was also a big help to the cooler himself. So really, they benefited each other. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, then do subscribe, especially if you failed the challenge, because that is the challenge. Also, do leave a like and comment on the video, because those things do help with the algorithm. With that said, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.